You're listening to KEVL Rock Radio, the True Metal Radio Show.
I'm not looking forward to this.
I'm not either. I
hope you are satisfied.
Yeah,
we listen.
Thank you guys for sucking as bad as we did.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott.
No, thank you, Michael.
I just wanted to thank y'all proper for
thank you, Chad.
Somehow making me the winner of all that.
That was fantastic. Way to go, Solanche. Here's to nothing.
Bottoms up.
Time for a little drinking pool. Cheers, genitals.
That is... Why?
I can't breathe.
I bet it cures my cough.
Oh, my God.
Why did that taste like bologna sandwich?
Dude, that's what you did when you burped up, Scott.
I actually like that one.
For those of you who don't know.
What is wrong with you?
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Is that from all the shit?
You're just joining us. We're taking punishment shots
crowd?
because of an absolutely god-awful game of True Metal Trivia.
Jesus Christ.
By default position of sitting right next to the wheel, Scott of Remus Radio won our little competition.
I won
and he
because
spun
I
the wheel.
sucked less. That's it.
He spun the wheel probably 15 times, and we landed on black cherry, and it does not taste like black cherry. These little airplane bottles that Chad gets.
That's not black cherry.
No, it's horrible.
That's black death.
Death.
That's the plague. I do believe we got a little bit of corona virus in that one.
I don't think I'm going to be coughing the rest of the night.
We might not. It's like a lozenge from hell.
It's like a laudanum for you.
A logum?
Laudanum.
A lozenge.
Morphine and green alcohol.
We got some a lot of little hammers.
I kind of liked it.
In True Metal events happening around the world, Chad, you're going to be very happy to hear this.
I doubt it.
AC/DC is releasing a new album.
No, I don't like that. Why the hell would I like that?
You love AC/DC. It's your favorite band.
I fucking do, but after
your favorite
1980,
band.
I was pretty much done.
Well, it's going to have Brian Johnson, your favorite vocalist.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Anus Young.
Somebody stab him. Right, I'm just so tired of this shit.
Anus Young is going to be on guitar.
His anus is who?
Yeah.
It's that young?
Yeah, it's a hungry guitarist.
Anus Young.
It's going to be the Missing Man
What the
tour.
hell is going on over here?
I'm not sure if Phil Rudd's going to be on drums. I don't think anyone knows for sure right now who the drummer is going to be on this
It's
album.
not going to be the guy from
Not
the
gonna
Hills
matter.
Have...
He's going to.
Hey, wait.
The guy from Hills Have Eyes.
Are we sure it's not the guy from the Hills Have Eyes? Is him like
That's him. That's him.
Looks like something from the Monsters.
And all this is just rumor, by the way. They haven't released any official announcements or anything. This is just some Australian guy on the radio there. You can't trust people on the radio. Some guy on the radio in Australia, he says it's true.
Mate.
He says he's buddies with these guys, so he knows something.
Well, Brian's not even in the band, so there you go.
Well,
He's not touring. He can't play live shows.
He can't hear.
He'll
legally
go deaf
deaf.
if he does.
Who's playing
Remember
rhythm
our
guitar?
Shred the podcast? You forgot that
I don't know.
already?
Anus Young. What's wrong?
There's usually two guitar players.
Oh, I don't know.
Right, I don't know who's
And Malcolm
replacing
passed
Malcolm.
away, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably just
It's going to be the
Anus.
one.
That's
You
how
can
we're
handle the load.
You only need one
Cardboard
anus.
cut out up there on stage.
Yeah.
According
Circle-
to Dave, you don't even really need anybody. Just do someone over there with one string going bang, 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 bang,
I feel
bang.
like I don't play guitar. I feel like I could play guitar
terrible.
for AC/DC.
Just don't do the hologram tour.
I'm just not a big fan. I think when you have 3 chords and you play them as well as they do, you get a whole career out of the deal. I feel like I missed the boat on that.
Can you
I'm a
just
little
slap the
upset. I
shit
missed the
out of
boat
him
on
just a
that.
little bit?
It's
Hey,
much more
up to
it.
80, those guys did a lot. I mean, there's
80 years old or 1980?
1980.
Okay.
All right, it's go time.
Oh, shit. Okay, wait. Next story.
Mandelball.
It's time for fisticuffs.
The Circle Jerks are celebrating their 40th anniversary
You just
of
wanted
their...
to get to talking about Circle Jerk.
I am.
I know
We're sitting in a circle. Anyway, let me move on.
Jerk.
Their 1980 album of Group Sex. If you remember, since we're talking about
Been a long
80,
time
I vaguely
since I've done
remember
that,
Group
so-
Sex.
Are
Remember
we
the
talking
days?
about metal still?
technically Circle Jerks is Group Sex. No, Circle Jerks is more punk. It's more skate punk.
Okay.
It's kind of metal. It's a very early crossover.
It's very much skate
almost
punk.
thrash,
I
but
bet
it's really
done in
it's
5
just skate
minutes. I bet it's done in 5 minutes.
punk. Done pretty quick, yeah.
It's a pretty quick.
In fact, the whole album's done in about 5 minutes.
Speed metal.
Their vocalist Keith Morris, whose name you probably recognize from Black Flag. He was one of the founding members of Black Flag. Now Mike Vallely sings for them. Who I used to call Mike Vallely. I'm learning. Like Neil Peart. I used to call him Neil Peart, and then I had to learn a couple years ago Neil Peart. Still weird for me to say.
I had to learn it once he died.
Oh, really? You just now found out the right way to say his
with
name.
you, and then on XM it was like Peart.
Yeah.
That's hurting my ears to hear people
It
say
is.
it that way. I don't care.
still don't
surreal.
know what you're talking
It's been Neil
about.
Peart since I was in 8th grade.
Yeah,
my
it's
entire
been Mike.
life, it's been
Mike
Bill Burr.
Vallely since 8th grade
Well,
too.
dude, if
yeah.
nobody corrects you, if you don't correct anybody when they speak to you and it's your last name,
yeah,
you're an ass.
that's
What?
now your last
You're-
name is
now
what it
you're-
is.
you're- It
Pronounce
is what
the
it
last
is.
name of Dead Horse's drummer.
I don't know. I'm not going to say it.
You never said Ronnie Giotti?
I thought that's how you said it.
It's Guillot.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
It's spelled Guilloty.
I know.
Like Quixote or something.
I asked him
It's
straight
like it's
up.
French
I
or
asked him
something?
straight up several years ago. I said, "How do you actually pronounce? Is it Giotti?" He's like, "No." He said, "It's Kunas. It's Guillot." So,
Well,
This
as you know,
is
the,
Goulalabale.
which burst my bubble. I was happy calling
Leave
him
it to
Ronnie
the French
Giotti.
to fuck up the English
Ronnie's cool.
language.
I've heard that I've never met him. I'm sure he's.
Yeah.
I've heard he's a really cool guy, and he's not going to care what you call him.
No.
You know the 67 or 62nd Grammy show
Was
award
a
show.
Bird burglar.
It's
Dude, it was
over.
the worst fucking 2 hours I got. I had to sit through that.
Why'd you watch
shit.
the whole
I
thing,
haven't
man?
watched those
Because I was
3
sitting
years.
there, I was talking. Actually, I was talking back and forth with Rob,
Oh,
and
from Six Past Hell.
yeah, from 6 Past. And my wife had it on, and I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, what train wreck has befallen America? It was the worst.
You're just
pile
now
of
understanding
shit.
that?
So,
No,
Clearly,
but this
the
was
terrorists
the
have
worst.
won.
If
It was the worst
if
thing
you're
ever.
if you're not familiar, the nominees were Tool. This is the only thing that you can win a Grammy for metal is the best metal
I
performance.
didn't even. I tuned out on
So
the
they're-
metal thing. I could give a shit.
They're
if it was
looking
such
for
a bad thing.
one. Well, that's all we're going to talk about on the show. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the fucking Grammys. Nobody cares about that shit. I don't care about that shit.
I haven't watched it in years.
I haven't honestly cared
bless
about the
you.
Grammys
I'll
at
never
all.
watch. The last one I watched was in 1989. I swear on my
That's
life.
the first one.
That's the last one I watched.
Well, that's
That was
also
the
the
first
first
Grammy.
the first time that they ever had a heavy metal category,
yeah.
and it's the same category they have right now, which is
And
best
Jethro
heavy
Tull
metal
won.
performance. Correct. We're going to talk about that in a second. So give me a second. So this year, Tool for their song "Tempest" was nominated. Candlemass featuring Tony Iommi. I don't know what song. Death Angel for Humanicide. I Prevail, which is a very young band, or they're kids. They play kind of a deathcore style, very technical kind of deathcore style. Killswitch Engage was nominated for Unleashed. Now, these Killswitch Engage particularly is, and maybe Death Angel, are the thrashier, heavier bands nominated. Tool, definitely. I mean, it's almost questionable if you even categorize that as metal. I don't call it metal.
It's its own genre almost.
Yeah, there's
Well-
like the Tom Waits.
I've been saying for a long time that the reason a
metal.
lot of metal
Tom
fans.
Waits, dude, that's
It is.
right.
It's the Tom Waits of hard
by
music.
themselves. They're completely by themselves.
It is. It's experimental. And this is the reason I think metal fans don't watch the Grammys, at least not for metal, because Tool won for Tempest. They chose the least metal thing they could choose, and that one is the one that
that
won. And you
always
remember
wins.
'89,
It's-
Jethro Tull won with Crest of a Knave
Jethro Tull won it.
when Injustice for
Against
All.
Metallica,
With
yeah.
a flute.
Yeah, Injustice for All should have won.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, the
It's a
whole
debacle.
metal category was new. And they
They'd
didn't know
never
what to do
done
with
it before.
They had no idea what
It
to do
ain't
with
new now, and they're still
I
choosing
know,
the
I
least
know.
metal
You can't
out of
expect
everyone.
a bunch of corporate
Yeah,
douchebags
I know what
to
you're saying.
really be able to know what good music really is
Dude,
anyway.
the live performances they had on this show were. If you're just even questioning why the metal is what it is, just watch the rest of the show, because I've only seen 2 Grammys. Okay? I saw 89 and I saw this year. And when I finished, I was like this. I could not believe the train wreck that it was. It was horrifying.
And I'd like to point out something about Jethro Tull, since we just mentioned that. I think Jethro Tull is it's one of my favorite bands of all time.
Well,
It's
Ian-
not a metal
I
band.
do like his vocals.
Ian Anderson has
Ian
always
Anderson,
said-
yeah.
Jethro's a badass.
It's not a person,
Jethro,
you son of a
I know.
bitch.
he eats a big bowl of cereal too. You see that son bitch next to him, the Beverly Hillbillies. He get the big old bowl like
Him and
that.
Led Zeppelin are
A
best
flu-
friends.
a flute
I think they
is
went-
not
they went-
metal.
hey, they
I'm
went to
sorry,
different
a
schools
flute is
together.
not metal.
It's true. A flute is not metal, but it has been pointed out to me by Chad when we were on road trips, going to show together. These long trips where we're playing Jethro Tull and Iron Maiden. It's odd to him that I was not already an Iron Maiden fan back then, but I was a huge Jethro Tull fan, and
Blew my mind.
kept pointing out to me how can you like Jethro Tull and not like Iron Maiden? They're the same. There's so many similarities.
No.
Well, he's
Well,
not the only
what
person to
fuck is
say that.
wrong with
Remove
you?
the flute from the
A flute.
equation.
Yeah.
And you've got some very
Did you ever
metalist
watch
guitar
HR
licks.
It's basically the lead guitar.
Martin
Hey, come
Beret
on.
is a badass guitar
I can
player.
solve all
No.
this for everybody,
HR
especially you
puffing
meathead.
stuff. HR puffing stuff. No
You.
fucking flute
Go
goes
ahead,
in there.
Ron.
Go ahead.
All right, well, let me ask you something, man. What do you think about?
I didn't get to finish my
Oh, all
point.
right. Well, I'm about to prove him wrong. You let me know.
If you ever want to hear something, after this, we do the after party down.
Yeah.
Listen to what's a great song, "Cross-Eyed Mary" by Jethro Tull.
Right.
It
The
opens
full
up with a
version of
great
Minstrel in the
flute.
Gallery is pretty fucking
Now-
heavy too.
Does
Now, wait
Danny
a second,
bring
I'm
out
not
his magic
done.
flute?
Just wait a second, Mo.
Yes.
Then listen to Iron Maiden, how they do it, and it's a great homage to them, but it sounds just like it, but it's badass how they do it.
Steve
And it
Harris is
sounds
a
like-
huge
there you go.
Ian Anderson fan.
Well, hey,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
funny. There's so many great bands that cover Jethro Tull. What do you think about Crowbar or Down, Grego? You like Down?
Beats the fuck out of me.
Okay, look.
I got something to say
He's just
about.
occupying
I've never heard them
space
cover
to just
Jethro
make
Tull.
tabs.
Mike.
I got something to say
Quiet,
about
Mike.
Jethro. Okay,
Yeah.
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Okay. So
believe it.
Crowbar and Down. Kirk Windstein of Crowbar. He's the vocalist for Crowbar and the guitarist for Crowbar, and a founding member of Down. He's released a track from his upcoming solo album, Dream in Motion. And he's doing a lot of covers lately.
Does he have a flute?
He doesn't need a flute. That flute is basically the lead guitar.
Do you
know?
got a float? Listen to it.
Yeah.
Here, let's put this.
The song Kirk Windstein released is Aqualung, which I don't think is like the best song.
No.
You know, it's just the most played song.
Oh yeah.
But he likes the song and he chose
One of the
that song.
hits. It's one of the hits.
It's surreal because he plays it the way that you hear Down. Or that you would hear Crowbar play that song if they'd come up with it. He takes it very personally. You can
wanna
see
hear
it.
it.
Yeah, it's a very good song. You want to hear it?
I want to hear it. Yeah.
I want to hear it.
I dare you to play it for me.
I'm going to play it.
I triple.
And now you're going to
dare you.
hear what Jethro Tull, the reason Jethro Tull is adored by so many metal fans.
Please enlighten me on
This guy who
on
doesn't
that.
like
That
Down
just-
over here.
No, I don't like flutes in metal unless you can smoke from it.
From his 2020 album Dream in Motion,
You
this
want
is
to
Kirk
smoke
Windstein.
a float? Huh?
With Smoke a Float.
You want to smoke
This
a
is
float?
Kirk Windstein
Wait.
with Aqualung.
It's the True Metal Radio Show.